Hey guys, this is Steve with Empire Academy. Today we're going to talk about what do you do when you have a tenant that wants to just pay partial rent. So what you have to understand is we do not have the option or the ability to take partial rent per the lease agreement. So for example, if the tenant wants to pay partial rent, we cannot accept that. And the reason we can't accept that is because we all of a sudden start setting a precedent. The lease agreement says, which is the contract that is signed by us and is signed by the tenant, that the tenant has to pay full rent on the first. It's not the first through the third. It's actually due on the first. We give them till the third to pay it. After the third is considered late. The way the contract reads is they have to pay the rent. If they don't pay the rent and we don't get it by the third, then we have to do something. What we have to do is we have to start the eviction process. We do not have the right or the ability to not start the eviction process per the lease agreement. It's a contract that we have to abide by on our side. So what happens is let's say we start the eviction process, and once we've filed the eviction, let's say that the tenant owes $1,500. When we file the eviction, we are filing for $1,500 of rent. If that tenant even gives us $20 of rent, or let's just say they give us $100, now we are no longer evicting for $1,500. So if we go to the judge and the judge says, how much are you evicting for? And we say $1,400, and he says, well, the paperwork here says $1,500. So that's not correct. You took some money. So now the eviction is voided, and because of that, you have to start over again. So a lot of times some tenants will be sneaky and they will pay you that extra money because they know that once that happens, we can no longer keep going with the eviction and we have to start over again. So what I would say is when you have a tenant that wants to pay the partial rent, the way that I would express it is we would love to take your money. Unfortunately, at this point, we are not able to because you owe rent, you owe late fees, and you owe court costs. And unfortunately, we cannot accept partial payment. It has to be all payment in full, or we are moving forward with the eviction. Now, we would love for you to be able to stay. We think you're a great tenant. We don't want you to leave. However, we have a policy and a procedure, and we have to have all the rent plus late fees plus everything, or we cannot accept anything. And you don't want to pay partial rent because you're going to need that when you move. And then I would go into explaining to them what's going to happen when they move. Did you know that when you move, you're going to lose your security deposit? You're going to have a hard time finding a new place to rent. You're not going to be able to have security deposit money. A lot of owners are not going to take you with an eviction on your credit. And your utilities, water, power, electric, all of those people are going to require higher deposits because you have this eviction. And on top of that, all the money that's owed is going to be sent to a debt collection company, and the debt collection company is going to be coming after you. So you're better off just paying the full rent plus the late fees plus the court costs. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. Trust me, you do not want to not pay and have to go through this, because I could tell you we've had some tenants doing this and it is a horrible, horrible experience for them. You're better off just paying the rent and doing it that way. So this is Steve with Empire Academy. I hope this helps.